It's Friday, January 18th. The Supreme Court will today hear a plea seeking round-the-clock protection filed by Kanakadurga and Bindu, the first women to enter the Sabarimala temple following the Supreme Court judgment last year that ended the decades-old ban on the entry of women of menstrual age. Senior advocate Indira Jaising on Thursday sought for the urgent listing of the matter, saying that the women were living under constant fear and they need police protection and security from the agitated mob who protest their temple entry, Live Law reported. Kanaka Durga was allegedly assaulted by her mother-in-law on Tuesday when she returned home and is now being treated in hospital for a head injury she sustained. Kanaka Durga and Bindu had both been in hiding following threats by certain groups. The protests have largely been mobilized by Sangh Parivar activists. The Congress too has lent its support to the protests. The BJP, which has been looking to gain a foothold in Kerala with little success so far, view the Sabarimala issue as an electoral opportunity. Prime Minister Modi, speaking at a rally in Kollam earlier this week, attacked the LDF government on the matter. The CPIM hit back, saying the state government was implementing a judgment of the Supreme Court and that the Prime Minister's remarks had dangerous implications for the future. Dera Sacha Sauda chief Gurmeet Ram Rahim has been sentenced to life in prison for the murder of a journalist in 2002. The self-styled godman, along with 3 others, have been convicted of murder and criminal conspiracy by a special court in Panchkula. Ram Rahim is presently serving a 20-year prison term after being convicted of raping 2 women followers. Violent protests had broken out in Panchkula, the location of the trial court, and in Sirsa, the Dera headquarters, after Ram Rahim was convicted in the rape cases in August 2017. In all, 40 people had died and many others were injured. Anticipating trouble again, the Haryana government had filed a plea in court that the Dera chief appear via video conferencing for his sentencing on Thursday. Journalist Ramchandra Chhatrapati was shot dead in Sirsa in 2002 after he published reports in his paper Pura Sach detailing how women sadhvis were sexually assaulted and raped by the Dera chief. 2 former students of the Jawaharlal Nehru University, who were office bearers of the Akhil Bharatiya Vidyarthi Parishad at the time, in a press conference claimed that it was the ABVP, the student body affiliated to the RSS, that had planned the JNU February 2016 incident in which the Delhi police have filed a charge sheet against Kanhaiya Kumar and others. The row surrounding the alleged chanting of anti-national slogans on the JNU campus, they claimed, was contrived to divert attention from the suicide of Dalit research scholar Rohit Vemula. Jatin Goraya, who was the vice president of ABVP's unit at the university in 2016, and Pradeep Narwal, former joint secretary of the unit at the time, addressed a press conference in Delhi alleging that the charge sheet was politically motivated. Goraya and Narwal had resigned from the ABVP in 2016. They also claimed that the students shown raising the slogan of Pakistan Zindabad and aired on Z News were in fact ABVP members or sympathizers. ABVP leader Saurabh Sharma, who was joint secretary of the JNU Students' Union in 2016, claimed Goraya and Narwal had joined the Congress and this press conference was organized on directions of Rahul Gandhi. The Indian Express reported. Goraya is not a member of the Congress party. Can you imagine your grandparents choosing to go to jail to be able to afford housing, healthcare, and because they are lonely? That's a reality in Japan. With the world's oldest population, 27.3% of Japan is 65 years or older. High life expectancy and sub-replacement fertility rates have contributed to this. By 2025, 1 in 3 citizens will be older than 65. Japan's pension system is stretching. 1 in 5 senior citizens have incomes below the poverty line, and 1 in 6 senior citizens lives alone with no family or working children far away with no time. Which is why Japan's old men and women are taking to petty crimes. While shoplifting is common, assault and murder are part of this population's desperate attempts to go to jail. A jail has company, a constant roof, 3 square meals, and free healthcare. Each cell is well lit with a desk, chair, wooden bed, and often even a television set. 2 in 3 inmates suffer from at least one health issue. Cardiovascular diseases, mental illness, and behavioral disorders are most common. Prison guards double as caretakers. They change adult diapers and even help inmates bathe and walk. Such conditions are far better than lonely lives they lead at home. The result, 19% of Japan's prison population is above 65 years of age. But for Japan's economy, this could prove to be debilitating. According to a Japan Times report, it costs 3.2 million yen to keep a person in jail for a year. That's 2 times what it would cost to get them social welfare. Each year, 6,400 prisoners complete their sentences. It takes close to 25 million yen per year to help reinstate them in society. Still, 1 in 3 relapse and return to prison within a year. In 2015, the Japanese government set aside 230 billion yen to run its prison houses. In 2018, the government spent additional money on 3 new prison wards to accommodate an ever-increasing load of geriatric jailbirds.
Hey guys, it's Jova. We just want to remind you guys that your mental health is over. Life is not just the happy moments, and we don't talk about the sad moments. I felt that social media was missing all of those other experiences that make up life, and so I wanted to hack the social media, and in between your next cat video and before like the food porn that you saw, I wanted to have a space where you actually were in touch with your emotions. My name is Giovanni Varela. For the last 3 years, I've been running this social media page that combines artwork and quotes to bring about certain feelings and conversations more than anything. And the orbit of those conversations all revolve around mental health. So when it comes to choosing artwork for the page, I tend to feel the painting, the visual, and then I tend to also feel the quote or what the thought offers. Imagine that, for example, I go out fishing, and some visuals are like really big fish, like really powerful stuff. And then I go fishing for quotes, which would be like, I don't know, in this metaphor, fish food. And so then I combine the fish and the fish food. And if they can do this together, where they interlock, then that's what I'm looking for. And I don't share my own artwork because I feel that I would be doing much more of a service and impact if I share a bunch of other people's artwork and at the same time open up the platform for other stories. Not only myself, because I'm only one person, but if I can open up for millions, that's where the impact is. The idea of breathe started when I became self-aware of the pockets in time that I was taking to myself to do nothing but breathing, right? And I realized how good that was to take a moment out of my day to simply feel that process. But when you do it consciously, it changes everything. You realize that you're a living creature. You realize that you're here, right? That you're present and that you are alive. For me, that began, first I started just posting videos on Instagram, 15-second long videos that would say breathe in, breathe out. And then eventually it was just as simple as breathe. And I would put a landscape or a comfortable image in front of you for you to relax into it and for you to remind yourself that there are pockets, breathing pockets wherever you are. I make sure that it's a comfortable enough space for people to feel comfortable enough to share their experiences. And whenever there is somebody that comes in with sexist, homophobic, toxic remarks, I make sure that I ban those people. Sounds intense, but I cannot accept people being bullied on the comments when I'm trying to create a safe space for people to open up. It was 1 p.m. and it was August 16th. And I was simply really curious. It wasn't supposed to turn into a big thing. I was literally curious. What are you guys thinking about right now? So the girl that sent that screenshot from Delhi caught me at a moment where I didn't know what to do in certain situations. For me, it's very special when people from politically opposite countries that are supporting each other. And so when we talk about the Delhi girl being supported by the girl from Karachi, Pakistan, but seeing in this new generation that they see beyond that, and we see each other just as human beings who go through the same things, who are vulnerable, have dreams, regrets, and suffer and have courage and resilience and can experience love, then that is really, I think, where the empathy happens. The first message that I ever received that said that my page saved their lives, I didn't believe it. That sounds preposterous to say that a page, a quote, a post that you saw on Facebook saves a life, but from meeting so many people that went through that same experience, I get to see that sometimes saving a life is really not that difficult. If I can shift somebody's thought from like not seeing an exit and break, that barrier, and they're able to see a way out, like, yeah, I completely believe that lives could be saved by shifting the perspective or adding a different thought that makes somebody not feel so alone. There's always the danger when I share conversations about mental health through art. When those two collide, it's very difficult to not glamorize, suicide. And I'm always conscious with my post not to post something that is too romantic in language, too flowery in language. It's been romanticized so much by this myth of the troubled genius that goes through so much struggle and then eventually makes, Starry Night, like Van Gogh. And I have a problem with that because I refuse to believe that you need to suffer in order to be a kind, empathetic, self-aware human being that is aware of himself and others and cares for others. For me, it's very important for people to know that I am not a healer, I am not a therapist, I am not a psychologist, psychiatrist. My training is art. I'm an artist, right? And I simply happen to be very empathetic to the point where I want to design spaces for people to open up and to heal. It would be reckless and irresponsible and maybe both ethical and illegal to even attempt to provide some sort of cure or to even, market the platform as the cure to anything. I need to be aware and okay with the reality that last night somebody existed that no longer is here with us today. It really began to hurt me when I realized that during the 7 hours that I would be sleeping at night, I would get messages of panic, messages of crisis moments that if I was there, I would have probably been able to do something. But by the time that I wake up, like those messages were already like gone, or I couldn't do anything. And so the best thing that I can do is try to make it as big as possible to create as big of an impact as possible.
Love your morning fix? Help support our journalism. Subscribe to Scroll Plus using the link in the description.